purpose of this tutorial is to take all of the information and text from the textbook and minimize it to our understanding by using the outline. The outline here breaks down what you are required to put on your homework and to study. The outline is broken up into 3 main sections: the summary, the vocab, and lastly the questions and answers. The summary would contain your notes and take on a reading. The vocab would contain the vocabulary and our definitions. And lastly, the questions and answers would contain the written questions and your answers to those questions. Now, we must understand the location and format of those sections. The summary should be on the front side of the first paper and can continue on the back side. The vocab, questions, and answers should be on the back side of the first paper and can continue on the second page. For example, my summary is located on the front side of the first paper, while the vocab, questions, and answers are located on the back side of the first paper and continues on the second page. Now, remember, the location of each objective is determined by how much space you use. The space that you use varies depending on your handwriting, organization such as your usage of space in lines, and how much information you choose to put. Before we begin, there are 7 key recommendations I want to make. Keep these in mind before, during, and after doing the homework, as these will help you. Number 1, keep notes neat and organized. Make the notes neat and organized as possible and skip lines when needed. Include headings for each section such as the summary, vocab, questions, and answers. Number 2, make side notes. As you are reading and taking notes, utilize sticky tabs or sticky notes, such as these for example, to refer back to the text when in question, so you can ask Mr. Fleming about it during school or during AA. Number 3, do this homework as it will help you on test and to help you with comprehension, because the material is interpreted in a way that is watered down, and as you take notes, it will help you. Number 4, do not procrastinate. You can maintain a steady schedule in order to obtain positive results, as to prevent stress, to learn the material, to make notes neat and not rush the day before it is due, and lastly, to score the recommendations in format and get the grade you worked hard for. Number 5, do this homework actively, not passively. You will hear Mr. Fleming say this statement often in class. This essentially means to study the notes that you took on the textbook as often as possible, as you do not want to unplug and become lost when the material is brought up in class. Number 6, complete with the bare maximum in mind versus the bare minimum. Do this homework in a mindset of concentration and understanding. Connect what you are reading rather than just jotting and copying down notes. And lastly, number 7, use pencil, not pen, as you may make mistakes and need to erase. Make your handwriting as neat and readable as possible so that you can study easily and the teacher can grade and read it. Now we are on to the textbook and guide. To begin, you must set a heading. In the margin or corner, you must write your first and last name, the date, and your class period. On the top line, you must set the chapter, the section, and the title of that section. Next would be to create your summary. There are a total of 6 parts of creating the summary we must focus on. The first focus in creating your summary would be the key questions. The key questions without the answers are located on the first page of that section, either on the left or right margin. In this case, it is the left margin. The key questions are the bolded text that you see alongside the key icon. As followed, the answer to that key question has a key icon within the text in order to connect the question and answer easily. The second focus would be the vocabulary and their definitions. This list of the vocabulary terms are located on the first page of that section, either on the left or right margin. In this case, it is the left margin. The vocabulary are the highlighted words. Their definitions are always as followed by the vocabulary term, before or after, or it is within that paragraph. Should a definition not be thorough enough for your understanding, I recommend to research that word and further your understanding on it by utilizing the internet. As a tip, you are expected to know the vocabulary, so avoid not employing terms in your understanding of the material, as the tests in the EOC are vocabulary based. The third focus would be the examples and analogies given in the textbook, as they are a pathway for you to apply what you are learning to real life. These include the visual analogies and the mystery clues boxes. The fourth focus would be the visuals. These include charts, graphs, labeled diagrams, etc., located throughout the textbook and the margins. They give you a visual understanding of what you are reading in the text and a broader connection to understanding what is read. For example, on this page, there is a labeled diagram of a chloroplast which illustrates how its parts are all interconnected and how they support each other. The fifth focus would be the important information. You may think that the important information to anchor on would be located in the paragraphs with the key questions and the vocabulary. However, that is not always the case. The important information can be located in the text surrounding those paragraphs. As you are writing your summary, make the information flow and connect together and not choppy. Do not take random information from the textbook and throw it on the paper, as this will not help you. The last focus would be to use more than 2/3 of the page when creating your summary, as this is a standard. As you can see here, I used more than 2/3 of the page for the summary. Remember, as you read the text and write your notes, refer to the figures in the margins and connect what you are reading. Distinguish the vocabulary and the key questions and their answers by underlining the vocabulary in your summary, and mark the key questions and their answers with a chosen symbol. I chose to use a star, as this helps you easily find them as you study. Pay attention to the taking notes sections, academic words and word origins in the margins, as they help you and give you ideas to help format your information and our broader image of what is being discussed. Lastly, use color in your drawings to indicate and distinguish the differences, as shown in here. I distinguished the differences in this image with different colors. Thirdly, you must create your vocab section. When writing your vocab section, you must organize the vocabulary and their definitions followed with bullet points or an icon symbol of your choice. I chose to use angle brackets when creating my vocab segment. Lastly, you must create your questions and answers section. When writing this section, you would follow the given format of the outline here. The writing would be of the question number that you are on, the question letter, and the full question. Then the answer to that question, then you skip a line and you repeat. It may sound confusing at first, but as you write and understand it when you were doing your homework, you would understand. Just use this following format as you see here. Skip lines in between the questions and their answers so you can organize them well and distinguish the answers in their questions better. When doing the questions and answers segment, you are required to write the full question and its answer. As in future classes and in college, you must do the same structure. This strategy helps you so you know what and why you put the answer that you put, and it allows for structure and habit when writing out notes. Finally, as you are creating this section, preferably do not refer back to the text when answering the questions as you did. Just read the text. There are 6 main takeaways that you can take from this tutorial that you have watched today. Number 1, do not procrastinate, as you will not be too happy with your grade and your decisions, because if you do it the day before it's due, you are not comprehending and understanding the material that you are transferring to your paper, as well as not being up to date with what is being discussed in the classroom. Number 2, do your homework actively, not passively. This is Mr. Fleming's statement, and you will hear this several times in class from him. Please listen to him, because if you do not do your homework actively, you will not understand what is being discussed and the labs and the bell works and everything that you're taking notes on. You won't understand what's going on if you don't do your homework the week it is assigned. So I recommend doing the homework the week it is assigned so you're up to date with those discussions. Number 3, if you do not remember where a topic that was discussed in class is, and you want to understand why and where that concept comes into your learning, you can utilize the textbook. You can utilize the index in the back of the textbook to locate those topics. Number 4, it's a great idea to use the class notes framework found on Mr. Fleming's website to identify deficiencies while completing the homework and your studying, to adjust such deficiencies in class or during AA with him. Number 5, please challenge yourself and practice the analyzing data sections of the interpreting data in the charts and the sections of those, because they will help you understand and connect what you're reading. And lastly, you must follow the given format and use it to get full credit, as well as to use the same outline for every section in the textbook. This tutorial may have explained a lot and may seem overwhelming. However, once you have nailed the format, you can do it correctly each time and memorize it. All it takes is time and effort to understand the criteria the textbook offers and to do the homework correctly, because you can succeed.